Hello everyone, I'm Skywalk and I will bring you a quick review of all the LCP games. Today, we are going to review the series between SHG and GAM from W1D1. So let's talk about the draft from Game 1. Both teams have a clear theme of their comp, although I'm still not a big fan of Kindred plus a mage support since it will be difficult for them to check the river or doing any visions or controlling the river, I would say. But at least they got a Galio to back it up, so maybe that's fine. So at the start of the game, we see GAM doing a vis swap, which is putting their duos on the mid lane. But they are a bit too late to get back to the lane, which led to Gorgi got a free wave. So at 3 minutes and 50 seconds here, we saw GAM try to swap back in order to gain the tempo. The intentions are fine, but I would rather let Kate go to mid again and try to put Galio onto Rumble, right? So I'll just let Cassandra deal with the duo lane. At the end, game put Galio back to match against Corki, but isn't that they don't want to Galio versus Corki, the matchup in the first place, and that's why they do the vis swap, so it's a bit confusing here for me. So here, after seeing Artemis and Ilao shove the lane in, they just disappear in the river. So what SHG support gang should do is to follow them and start roaming again on the map. So just let Marble catch away for himself, and Gang needs to match the timing of Lux or anyone that's going to roam. So here is the first group fight between the two teams. It's a bit weird that Leona should be here earlier so that he can have a combo with Rumble. But also like Rumble should wait for her to come, and the ulti didn't coordinate with any other, so it's kind of a waste. So not much to say after the dogfight between these two teams. Just some target selections can be better, I guess. So here, as I discussed a while ago with others about the LCP teams, so Kira and Levi are the best top and jungle duo in the LCP. They have very good coordination from them. They know where and when to gank and where to camp. So yeah, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of Kate. Kate didn't keep swapping around the map. It's 9 minutes into the game. She still hasn't got any plate yet, so I'm not too sure on the rotation for GAM. So here we see GAM has the kind of a bit of river control, a bit sus on Levi to just start the grabs. GAM top and mid still got a wave to push, while Kira is only about 50% HP. I think the better way to do is just go push for one more prio and recall, and then teleport to the fight with full health. So at around 40 minutes, here SHG actually spot Kindred at bot. So what their mid and jungle should do is try to push the wave as soon as possible to get the mid pyro, then get back to bot to cover. They can't let Galio to 1v2 them to and still have the mid pyro to push the lane. So in the result, they didn't do that. Then GAM have a textbook play from to just get an easy first turret and finish the Fit of Strength. So why the fuck Fate was here? Like, there's no reason to get to be on this side bush, right? Ares also threw the shit out. Why don't just initiate with a W, okay, with a taunt? Then GAM can just kill Courage in a second. So as SHG saw Kindred at blue, they should start Herald immediately. But they somehow choose to look for gank on Cassandra. That lost so much tempo for them, and also give tempo to GAM, and GAM just took two objectives, the Drake and the second tier turret. So after a few minutes of good rotation by GAM, Gang finally got caught easily. Levi just got too fat after the fight, and SHG won't have any chances to fight back. So that will be it for game 1. So let's jump into game 2. Speaking of the draft, so there's a very good comp for Jax. Could easily just 1v9 as SHG is a full AD comp. However, GAM comp is a very high risk, high reward comp since they got Syra and Renekton at mid. So and also they don't have a good initiator, good engage for their comp, so it may be a bit difficult for Jazz to get into the fight, as I assume Jazz will be building a more damage side items. So in 3 minutes into the game, there's a good play from Courage. As LEVI was taking the scuttle, he sneaked into the side bush and got a gank on Ares, which put this Renekton in the very bad state of the game. So with Rakan coming to mid lane to help Yone, which is very good. However, it seems that this gank didn't do much since the lane is still pushing to Renekton. So actually, to be a good play, gank should also stay for one more wave to hard push the lane into the turn before leaving. It doesn't matter that if he takes the XP, the XP from Fate, since this half as help won't be doing anything also, which led to his death. These first scrub fights were so sus from GAM too. Yes, they will have both level 6 for LEVI and Ares, but where the fuck is Kiaya? He has no TP, so if GAM wants to full commit to the fight, then he needs to come also. Here we can see there's a good camp from SHG, but Yao also needs to know he needs to buff for LEVI. Knowing this was good for LEVI to flash wood on Sajiani, so it's a bad bomb shield from Yellow to block Misfortune out also, but Ares should keep fighting against Yon instead of just walking up and letting Fate getting free hits on him. So there's also a lot of bad target selection again from GAM. So it's a good praise coming from SHG left and right, defending the top turret and getting their easy kills from a desperate GAM which try to force things. Again, a very good rotation from SHG, getting the second tier turret while not giving any trace to GAM. Elio Brom is just not it. He could have W into LEVI first, then just E on MF, but he chose to walk up instead. It's a very bad play, so still a bit very fortunate for SHG that Artemis did not get Fate on the rocket. And EVI somehow get the tip of his ult to the backline and got 2 kills, or else this would be a very disaster fight for SHG. The initial fight for SHG was fine until Fate Q3 into the Cyrus CCs. A good camp by Gang to pop Renekton in a second, then followed by a good step back from Artemis to avoid Yone's out. EVI chose in this team fight as he teleported to a very far location. He could have just TP at the top, in the top of the bushes, or even TPs at the attacker's pit. The momentum shift back to GAM after this fight, but a typical game will be they gonna throw the next fight. Haha. Just as I mentioned now, GAM will also throw some winnable fight. Here, although GAM have the attack SGA, but it's still a very bad try for them. LEVI position should be on the right side, and when MF is outing, but he somehow chose to step inside to the turret range and give a chance to SHG. So GAM just give SHG 400 gold and not trading anything. SHG chose to force a fight with Baron and GAM had one of the biggest engage he could have in his entire career. Funny enough is Ares actually got a few seconds to teleport directly since he pushed the lane first, but he didn't do so, so props to SHG. If I just couldn't play the game. So overall, it's a very good bounce back game from SHG. So jumping to the last game, let's talk about the draft again. So the fact that GAM can B5 Aurora is very surprising for me. Like, Aurora is still one of the best champions in this matter. So both clones are fine, but personally I don't really like Silas in this matter. And it's a very bad matchup against Aurora. So here, GAM shows a perfect dive. Pierre pulled the wave first, not letting the wave to crash, while Elio tanked first, and that's how you execute the perfect dive. So later on, somehow LEVI chose to TP back to lane while 4 members of GAM are still here. It's a very weird for me. Like he will have this kind of a bad misjudgment. So the better way to do is he could just easily TP to bot and share the EXP and place with Ezreal. Why the fuck GAM wants to fight this? Which he don't have flashes, right? Ultimately, giving this kill to Artemis is just letting him so far ahead in the game right now. A bit weird call from GAM, as Artemis is popping top. I assume GAM wants to fight the grubs. If that's the case, then so they have two mistakes if they want to fight these grubs. So the first is, like, LEVI cannot grid on the golem. Secondly, Ares should just pop to the bot after his recall. So while Artemis goes to mid and get the mid prior for the next wave, and GAM could then have the prior getting the river on both the top side and the bot side of the river, and can have more options to move around the map with a TP advantage. At last, GAM, although swap the lanes back, but are forced to trade objectives. And because of the last play, Jace is a bit slow to the mid laner, so if it got the mid prior and then just roam top and dive the GAM bot lane, which is very fast before, so GAM tempo is lost here. So why would you face check the bush while your opponents got the mid prior and miss from there to the river? Like, why, gang? So wait for the grubs to spawn, use LEVI to come first, and maybe get the next wave prior, then start going to river. That's how it should be done, not like this. Also, since SHG already had their first grubs, so they could actually just trade the objective or dive bot to give GAM some more pressure. So here, there's at least a good try from LEVI to just not giving the first turret for free, but he's just too far behind. SHG will not win this hero fight no matter what. So both Silas and Ezreal need 2 items to be useful and deal more damage, right? So the damage is just not here yet. SHG needs to farm up and try to camp Jace, or at least try to get the jungle camps one by one, step by step. So after this fight, actually the game is pretty much over. So let's just jump to the conclusion of the series. So as I expected, GAM, since both Ares and Artemis is new to the team, so they have not performing really good as they were in Team Secret or Team Mirrors before. And LEVI also has some very questionable plays in Game 2, but I would assume it's just a bit of a rust for him. I'll give him time. So on the other hand, SHG is had a big roster swap in this winter, and it seems like they lost the Aurora for that. Fate seems like he's just there, but we are expecting much more from a ex-LCK mid laner, right? And LEVI also seems a bit struggle against one of the best top laner, Kiera. So he needs to step up for them like last summer.